And now, let's move on to Song 39. We are getting the catharsis of the whole journey now. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and watch and listen to I Can't Help But Wonder. It's time for the reunion! Oh, who's the animator this time? It looks familiar. Have we seen it? Ximena!
Father?
Yes! Yes!
Son?
The subtitles from red fading into white. I love how awkward it is.
All my life I'd have died to meet you. Thought about your name.
Oh, I like that Telemachus has that grass crown. I think they call it a wreath. And now you're here.
I can't find
The words. All my life I'd have died to know you. Oh, I like how there's bloody footsteps. Oh, and he's gonna wipe his face. Oh, his arms, but that's still really sweet. Each other, if I have your strength in me.
All this time I've wondered if you'd embrace me as your own. 20 years I've wondered for so long I felt alone.
Oh my son, look how much you've grown.
Oh, my boy,
I love the piano here. Athena is watching.
20 years ago I held you in
And I really like how Telemachus is like hesitant for the skin contact.
make the storm clouds cry for you. Used to
Something I capture wind and sky for you. This is so cute. Oh, oh, oh! I love that. I'm gonna talk about that.
I can only wonder what your world has been. Things you've had to suffer and the strength you hold within. All I've ever wanted was to reunite with my own. 20 years we've wandered, but today you're not alone. My son,
I'm finally home. Oh, oh, the big beady eyes. How I've longed to see you. Telemachus. Oh, I love that harmony there. It's so good.
tell
Your mother I'm home. I'll be there in a moment.
Of course.
Yep. I love how all the dead bodies are still there. Show yourself.
I know
Oh, you're watching me. Show yourself. That was cute. How Athena just pokes his forehead.
I can't help but wonder what this world could be if we all held each other with a bit more empathy. I can't help but feel like I led you astray. What if there's a world where we don't have to live this way?
This is very different from how I imagined it personally.
if that world exists, it's far away from here.
I will also talk about
It's
that.
one I'll have to miss, for it's far
Beyond
beyond
my years,
you
we
might
might
live
live
forever,
forever, so you can make it be.
but I've got one endeavor. There's a girl I have to see.
Oh, the way that he just fades into young Odysseus. Oh, I wonder if I'll ever find out what that
Father?
face
She's waiting.
scar injury thing is. But that was I love the animatics on this one. It's so good. It is so emotional. And even the caption here also.
Son.
Yeah, just how the word son, it goes from the black, not even red, it was the black one, and then it just fades into white. It's so nice. And then also, of course, the Odysseus is still very bloody. I kind of wish that Telemachus was also a bit more bloody, but that's fine. And again, this whole thing about it being awkward, I really enjoyed the visualization of it. Because again, this is their very first time meeting, essentially. They barely know each other. For Odysseus, he obviously knows his own son, but this is a whole grown-up man now, compared to when Odysseus last saw Telemachus, he was literally an infant. So even from Odysseus' perspective, this is a completely different person, which I did want to bring up in the previous song and I forgot. A part of me is wondering how Telemachus didn't die, or more specifically, how Odysseus knew not to kill Telemachus. Because like I'm mentioning right now, Odysseus couldn't, and shouldn't know what Telemachus looks like right now. So Telemachus could have easily been mistaken for one of the suitors. Or I guess you could explain that at least in this adaptation, all of the suitors are like older grown men, and so Odysseus can even in his rage, he can still reason that, hey, this is a young man among a bunch of older men. It doesn't make sense. Let's not kill him. Maybe he's probably not one of the suitors, whoever he is. I guess I can take that explanation. But anyway, yeah. The point is that they don't know each other, because from Telemachus's POV, it wouldn't surprise me at all that he completely doesn't know what Odysseus looks like even 20 years ago, because again, he was an infant. And I don't think anybody remembers anything from that age. So, yeah, this is effectively two strangers looking at each other right now, even if they sort of establish the kind of relationship that they should have, being father and son. But just because you are father and son, that doesn't mean really all that much if you don't know each other for your entire lives. You're still really not that much more than a stranger. And at least that would be how I would be seeing it if I was Telemachus. Like, okay, sure, maybe you're my dad, but like, so, if that makes sense. But yeah, and then this part, yes, the bloody footsteps. It is so good. I love that little detail, because Odysseus would have been walking in all of the suitors' blood, and it would leave a foot trail. And it's just really nice that Telemachus is here, basically kind of washing his own dad. And it is very, very sweet of him. And this sort of reflection here. The thing is that maybe it's just the way that I have seen polities being drawn. In a sense, this could seem like Odysseus talking to polities as well in the reflection almost. I'm not sure. That's just kind of how I see it. But it would make complete sense if Odysseus has curly hair, then Telemachus would also have curly hair. And then yeah, this whole transition, that camera shake into the wipeout transition. That's nice. And then look at this, it's so cute. Oh, yes. This. Ah! I'm actually very excited that they showed this. Okay, so I am jumping in over here instead of letting, past me do the talking, because I have gone ahead and done some extra research just so that I can speak a little bit more clearly about this particular part of the animatics. So, to talk about this part, we are going to be referring to Book 3 of Apollodorus's Bibliotheca, and particularly starting from the story of the Oath of Tyndareus. It is where the reason for Odysseus's recruitment to the Trojan War first began. And for those of you who ends up, trying to look up the Bibliotheca, you might notice that the name that appears is Ulysses instead of Odysseus. They are the same person. So, Helen was known to be basically the most beautiful mortal woman, and so when it was time for her to be married, many of the kings around Greece came to Sparta as her suitors, including names such as Odysseus, Agamemnon, Menelaus, Ajax the Great, and Diomedes, to name a few that we do know. And so this character, Tyndareus, he was the king of Sparta at the time. And when he saw that all of these great warriors came together as the suitors for Helen, he was actually afraid that, by choosing any one of these suitors, he might accidentally piss off the rest of them and lead to a big bloody, battle and bloodshed between all of them. And so he felt really stuck and refused to accept any of the gifts from any of the suitors. Odysseus comes into play here because although he was there as a suitor for Helen, he actually had his own eyes set on Penelope. And since Tyndareus was Penelope's uncle, Odysseus brought up this oath in exchange for his help to get Penelope's hand in marriage. So the oath states that all of the suitors who decide to step forward will swear to respect the decision of whoever would be chosen as the husband, and all of them who took the oath will come to his defense should anybody try to break the oath or do the marriage wrong. And so with the implementation of this oath, the decision that Menelaus was to be Helen's husband was respected, and so from there no animosity or blood was shed, and Odysseus got the help he wanted and married Penelope. Now, as we know from the story of the Golden Apple, which I have touched on in the very first song, The Horse of the Infant, Paris of Troy ends up taking Helen away to Troy, and Menelaus was pissed about that, and because he was the husband of Helen, he called upon the oath of all of the past suitors who were there when the oath was taken, and so that is where this part of the animatic comes into play. When that whole thing happened, Telemachus was only just born, and Odysseus was leading a very happy life, and so understandably, he wanted to stay with his son and wife. And so, in an attempt to avoid going through with the oath that, ironically, he himself set, he ties a plow to a donkey and an ox, which was seen as a incredibly inefficient and stupid way to do it, because these two animals have very different pulling powers, and so the plow wouldn't be able to plow the field properly, if that makes sense. And besides that, he also sows his land with salt instead of seeds. And all of this is just Odysseus trying to pretend that he has gone insane and would be unfit for war. From there, one character named Palamedes saw the way that Odysseus was behaving and decided to call him out on his bullshit. And to prove that, Palamedes actually snatches baby Telemachus and puts him right in the path of Odysseus's plow. Because if Odysseus was actually insane, he would have no problem running Telemachus over, which, as we know, Telemachus is alive in Epic well after the events of the Trojan War. And so, because of that, Odysseus had to, drop his bluff, and he had no choice but to uphold his part of the oath and sailed off to fight the Trojans. That is what this image is all about. I love that Ximena put this in. I love it!
In my arms, prepare to die.
Yeah, and you can see right there,
Held you in
Odysseus
my
stops,
arms, prepare
and he actually looks frightened. Like he panicked to stop, because that's exactly what happened. He obviously didn't want to kill his own son just to avoid the war, That would kind of defeat the purpose.
to die for you. Oh,
And yeah, he finds out that his cover got blown.
how time has flown. What your world had with you. Oh,
And the hug.
my son,
I'm finally home. Bum, 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 bum. And the big beady eyes. I love it. Oh, I've longed to see you. Marcus. Home. And then this whole part with Athena. There's something that I kind of want to point out for Ximena, really. I mean, it's totally fine. I think this is very, very subjective. And if this is the way that Ximena likes doing things, that's totally fine. It is not necessarily a complaint. It's just that I feel like this would be a much more serious and somber kind of sequence of events. So I'm not sure how I personally feel about, all of this more cartoonish, playful kind of expressions and drawing style. I do enjoy this little poke here. That's very cute, and I enjoy that. But yeah, just this whole general,
or hellos.
like just generally very, very light-hearted and cartoonish sort of vibes visually. I don't agree with that. And again, this is not a complaint. This is just a very subjective opinion. It is completely fine like this. It's just that for me, in my own personal imagination, the way I imagine this is right. You can hear the clock ticking, and clearly Odysseus is having a conversation with Athena. What I thought would be happening is Odysseus is over here, and Athena is here looking at Odysseus's back. What I imagine is that Odysseus never actually makes eye contact with Athena, because this is the first time he has seen Athena in 10 whole years, after a pretty big argument, comparatively. And I feel like the both of them wouldn't be able to face each other, really. At least that's how I interpret the whole situation and the way that I visualize it. So I wouldn't think that they would be very nonchalant about it, like just two old friends having a chit chat after a bit of a break because they lost contact, because they were busy with their lives and all that stuff. It's totally not like that. For me, it is two friends who hurt each other and don't know how to face each other, and are kind of awkward in finally seeing each other after so long without ever having a proper closure. So at least that's just the way that I imagine I've said that so many times, but yeah. Yeah, that was the animatics. Let's move on into the music. You have the strings. Very pretty strings. And the piano. Da, da, da.
Father,
I wanna be led. And it just cuts off there. Because Telemachus has that whole thought of being legendary out of his head now. And right now he is looking at a legend, the legend really, that he has been hearing so much over the last 20 years. So I really like that. The sort of motif gets cut short. Father? And Odysseus immediately coming out of the murder mode and going into very vulnerable state with the acoustic guitar, because he sees Telemachus. How he recognizes him, I have no idea, but you know.
all my life I'd have died to meet you. Thought about your name so much it hurts. For 20 years I dreamt of how I'd greet you. Oh, and now you're here. I can't find the words.
And that is very understandable. You can think about something and try to prepare for it for many years, but the only way you will know how you actually respond to the situation actually happening is when you are actually put in the real situation, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really like that it is an awkward start rather than it being a fully touching reunion right from the get-go. I really like that it is an awkward start. Both sides don't really know what to do or what to say to each other.
Oh, and now you're here. I can't find the words. All my life I'd have died to know you. Days and nights I wish that
I love the choir here. It's so good.
For 20
And speaking of choir, obviously nobody is alive here besides Telemachus and Odysseus. And let's listen to a little bit more.
years I never could outgrow you. Oh, and now you're here. I can't help but wonder what your world must be.
While the choir is still going, it is still so pretty.
All this time I've wondered if you'd embrace me
Sure, 20 years I've wondered, so long I felt alone. Bum 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 bum. The pianos come in, which again is Athena's instrument. And as we get to the later part of this song, we know that Athena is around. And so the reason I wanted to wait until there is because of the choirs here. It is non-diegetic. Because again, all of these suitors are dead in this hall. And as far as we are aware, there is no other humans around. So what I think is that Athena is the one calling down the choirs for Telemachus and Odysseus, which I think is really cute.
Oh, and now you're here. I can't help but
I wonder what the world must be if we like each other, if I have strength in me. And that is the same thing that Telemachus does wonder back in Legendary as well. Just like, I've heard so much about you, but what are you actually like? How much similarities do we as father and son have?
all this time I've
Embrace me as your own. 20 years I've wandered, so long I felt alone. Oh my son, look how much you've grown. Oh my boy, sweetest joy I've known.
20 years ago I held you in my arms. How
time has flown. Oh.
Used to say it'd make the storm.
And now strings come in because Penelope is part of the memory now. To die for you, all time has flown. Oh, I love the vocals. What your world has been, things you've had to suffer, and the strength you hold within. All I've ever wanted. I'm just enjoying the song at this point.
20 years we've wandered, but today you're not alone. My son, I'm finally home.
Bum 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 bum. I feel like that's a polyrhythm. Hold on.
My son, I'm finally home.
Is that a 3-2 polyrhythm?
My son, I'm finally home.
Or maybe it's a 4-3, I'm not too sure. And this part. I love the harmony there. I don't know if you guys could hear me tapping on the... I don't know if you guys could hear me tapping on the table to try and figure out the polyrhythm there. I don't think I got it right. It might be a 4-3 polyrhythm, but I'm not at all that great at, tapping it out. Let me listen to the bum 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 bum.
My son, I'm finally home.
I can't figure out the rhythm. I'm shit at rhythm. Yeah, I love the choice of notes there. It's so good.
Go. Tell your mother I'm home. I'll be there
There in a moment.
Of course.
I like how wobbly that was in the visual also.
Show yourself.
Yes, show yourself.
I
Know you're watching me. Show yourself. That again. Number one, you can hear the with that choir sort of fading in and out. That is again the signal for Athena entering and exiting, like just basically announcing Athena's presence. We have that, and then also Odysseus. Show yourself. I know you're watching me. Show yourself. That is exactly what Odysseus sings in their first meeting back in Warrior of the Mind. Except that this time there is no danger motif being played, because I think at this point, even though their relationship has been damaged, thanks to their big fight back in the Cyclops saga, I think that they are still friends, more or less. So there's no danger to be found over here. And a little poke on the forehead is so cute.
You were never one for hellos.
I can't help but wonder.
Yep, and we got the piano and also Athena's motif being played.
I can't help but ever feel like I led you astray? What if there's a world where we don't have to live this way?
Oh yeah, and you can hear the clock ticking because they are having a conversation with Quick Thought right now. But the thing that I kind of wanted to point out here is how Athena sort of embraced the open arms mentality, while Odysseus went down the ruthless route. It's kind of like they had opposite character developments, and I really, really like that because Athena in the beginning was much more ruthless. You have to finish the job, kill Polyphemus. While at that point in time, Odysseus was, at least from my perspective, kind of grieving Polites' death, and in the process of grieving and trying to remember Polites, he tries to embrace the more open-minded, the more open arms sort of mentality. And now, after everything that they have been through, they are now the opposite, which I thought was really cool. Yep, let's continue.
If that world
Exists
it's far
away from here.
It's one I'll have to miss, for it's far beyond my years.
Yep, and again, the acoustic guitar takes over here
You can make it be.
because Odysseus is talking.
I've got one endeavor. There's a girl I have to see.
Yeah, and that transition into young Odysseus. And also, I forgot to mention this, but I need someone to explain this to me. It is a very cool design. I just feel like there is a reason for it, and I would like to know the reason. That's all.
Father?
And musically,
Very well.
da 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 da.
Father?
That is, well, it references two things. Number one, Warrior of the Mind. That is the original Warrior of the Mind, but then also that same riff is also used in My Goodbye. This is my goodbye. This is my goodbye. But over here, it actually ends. It ends flat. Originally, and now it is flat between these two notes. This is original, this is now. And it is a very, very interesting change for me, because at least from my perspective, it just sort of feels like it indicates a sort of disappointment from Athena's side, but not the same kind of disappointment she had back in My Goodbye. It's more of the sense where, again, this is referencing "This is my goodbye," but this time, even though their goodbye is more amicable, it's almost like their friendship is gone, and Athena feels disappointed and sad about that. Understandably, I would be. But yeah, that's how I interpret it. And then there's also one more thing in this short part.
Very well.
Listen to the guitar. That is Penelope's motif. So, remember how Odysseus mentions that there is a girl I have to see. And his instrument tells us exactly who that is, even though we already know. Like at this point, it cannot be any clearer. But musically, it also tells us without words that he has Penelope on his mind right now. So, yeah, who knows if their friendship actually gets repaired in the future. But this is how it is right now.
Father, she's waiting for you.
Yep. And there you have it. That was I Can't Help But Wonder. I love that song. It's so good.